Welcome back. We left off last time just after getting teleported into this chunk a mere 8 levels away from our previous chunk goal. If we had had just a handful more hours, we likely would have been able to roll out. More than just being able to roll, we would have had a 66.6 chance to roll into another evil chunk. See, the difficulty of this account isn't in the grinds like a normal chunk account. It's in the fact that I'm essentially running 29 different chunks at once, each one self-contained until I complete the goals within them. So if I can roll from one evil chunk into another, I've immediately reduced the randomization of my Posty Pete teleports by a small degree. Many of the chunks I can get sent to do not have a bank, and unfortunately, this chunk is one of those. So now that we're here, I'm effectively a UIM starting a brand new chunk with only a few items and levels to my name. And this chunk has a monster of a task list for a low-leveled and under-geared account like mine. Roll the intro. Most chunk accounts are locked into one chunk of the game until they can complete all possible content. Unless you're me. When Posty Pete shows up, I must fail the Evil Twin random event and get teleported away to a random chunk. This chunk swap was kind of my debut with Clan Chat, and it seems like the other chunkers think it's pretty cool. I don't know where this will land in the eventual series, but I haven't put any of this on YouTube yet, so hopefully that's a good sign.
Evil here has come up with a new Iron Man mode, but this is borderline masochistic.
Alright, let's get down to brass tacks. This place has so much going on: quests, bosses, mid-level skilling with terrible equipment, stark lack of food sources, and it's one roll away from the wilderness. It's really all you could want from a chunk account. Let's check this place out. I ran around a bit and explored the chunk. There are about 40 chunk tasks here, so I'm going to go through them a bit quicker and more generally than previous episodes. For the skilling tasks, 40 thieving to pickpocket guards, only a chunk task because we had the level to pickpocket warriors that are also in this chunk. 40 attack and defense for rune armor and weapons from the boss drops here. 58 cooking, once again for pita bread because we have access to imps. 60 woodcutting and fire making to cut and burn yew logs, and 72 fletching to fletch a yew shield. Those last three not only because we have all the tools in our inventory, but they also all spawn within this chunk. We have a few quests to start in this area, all of which we can only do the first step of. The Daddy's Home mini quest for construction, Priest in Peril to get into Mauritania, and the Shield of Arav quest. We also need to buy a player-owned house since there's an estate agent in this chunk, and there's a big list of new creatures, each of which we need to kill at least once, and a few bosses. There is a long list of unique and best in slot items that we need to obtain: a steel mace from Black Knights north of the city, Zamorak monk robes from the one locked up in the palace. We also need a longbone and mossy keys from the moss giants at the end of the sewers, and finally the two biggest hurdles of this chunk by far, at the entrance and the end of the sewers, are Scurius and Bryophyta, from which we need 6 different pieces of rune equipment for best in slot melees and defense boosts, a battle staff for best in slot magic attack, and we also need their respective unique item upgrade drops of Bryophyta's essence at a rate of 1 in 118, and the Scurius spine at 1 in 33. We also need the much more rare Scurry pet at a rate of 1 in 3000. In order to make these later acquisitions possible, assuming we're stuck here until we can realistically take them on, we're going to need to utilize some of the minor upgrades along the way that we can obtain from moss giants. Thankfully, we are also going to need to kill probably thousands of moss giants anyways to get our hands on enough mossy keys to obtain the Bryophyta drops that will help us in killing Scurius. Sheesh, that is a hell of a task list. It's another instance of no chance we're getting out of here before Pete shows up, which I think is going to be a theme of these early episodes. So we need to be at least a little smart about what we do here. I don't have a bank, so woodcutting, fletching, and fire making are probably off the table. Why would I do that here when it's harder with no bank and I have juicy upgrades to get? Same for the cooking. We'll have a better way to level it somewhere in the future rather than killing imps for flour, so that too we can basically ignore as a task for now. It'll get trained passively as we train combat and need food from the giant rats. Essentially, the road to all of our tasks lies behind the bosses. Scurius being way too difficult right now, I'm sure, without even checking, and Bryophyta locked behind moss giant key drops. There's a couple routes we can take with the moss giants: face tank them and eat rat meat from the giant rats as food and slowly level prayer, or rush prayer on easy creatures so I can fight the moss giants with protect from melee. Or find a source of runes here and use the robe drops from the imprisoned monk and the magic staff drop from the moss giants to kill them with magic. We'll have to test out some methods and see just how we're going to approach the moss giant grind. Either way, the first order of business, we're doing every single quest step we possibly can, and then getting a house. All of our quests that start here require traveling to another chunk, so we definitely don't want to get moved out without those being started. I did already hop into the sewers really quick, just get the iron axe spawn to upgrade from our bronze one for the same reason. If we get tellied out, I want a better axe on me. Here we are at the king in the palace. We're starting the Priest in Peril quest. That's all we can do for this one. It's continued over in Paternomus, where Mauritania starts. In the library, we can talk to Jorel and find the Shield of Arab book that starts the Shield of Arab quest. This one is continued in Varrock Square, or just south of it, so we're done with all that we can do for it for now. Speaking to Marlowe and the estate agent's house lets us start the Daddy's Home mini-quest that continues in one of the southern Varrock chunks. And right beside him is a saw. We'll be hanging on to that until we get to a bank or get a Leo random event that has a deposit box. We have to have this to train construction. And that's it for the quests. 3 new ones started with little to no progress, but 3 chunk tasks complete. Getting some food going since we're going to quickly pickpocket up to 1000 GP on those warriors, get the cash to buy a player-owned house, and then do that task ASAP. There's only a few estate agents in the world, and most of them I can't get to, so I want my house purchased and secured. That was just enough food to get me to 1000 GP, but with that, we now have a player-owned house. Chunk task complete. Furniture within the house won't generate tasks for us, not that we can even get there yet, but once we have a construction training method, any stash units that we come across will need to be constructed as part of our chunk tasks. Chunk task complete. Walk with me, talk with me, we got some stuff to go over. I don't think I need to show you every one of every creature kill. We trust each other, right? I mean, yeah, evil is my name, and I do make a lot of fake stuff that looks like real game content, but do you really want to see me say blank creature killed, chunk task complete 9 more times in this episode? I think I can just say, yes, I did kill a scorpion, and a ghost, and a skeleton, and a deadly red spider, and you just go, yep, he definitely would have no problems with that. And we can move on. Right here is a single mine rune and a single body rune spawn. I'll have to do an assload of world hopping to utilize them, but this is how we can train magic in this chunk. The zombies back near the entrance drop air runes, and we can also get them out of the maze random, so definitely have an avenue to obtain the robe drops from the imprisoned monk, which you have to have ranger magic to kill, as well as training magic on the moss giants if we so choose. Near the back of the sewers is a spawn for a stack of 6 earth runes. That seems like a huge amount of random runes to spawn here, but I will be picking these up every time I pass them just to stack as many as possible. Alright, a nice clear world. And 51 strength on the very first hit. Every drop they have is an upgrade for my account with the exception of the steel med helm, which I'm already wearing. They have a steel kite shield and a black square shield, the square shield being slightly better than the kite. They have the magic staff, which will be our first legitimate magic weapon that will also allow us to auto-cast spells. And they have a mithril spear and a mithril sword drop, either of which would be a DPS upgrade due to the sheer stat increase, but we're looking for the sword since it's not only higher DPS, but also allows us to use the shield while we're using it, unlike the spear. First one down and we've gone through about half our food. It's not good. And just coins. Alright, well I'm going to post up here for as long as I can and report back when I'm out of food. And 3. Jesus. Well, I think we're quite a ways off of fighting Scurius or Bryophyter with that display of abilities. BRB. Oh my god, nice! The longbone on the 4th moss giant kill, that's fucking amazing. That's a chunk task too. That's actually huge. Not so much for this chunk, but for any other chunk that has a longbone task. So like the Westy Nil chunk where my only task left was getting a longbone. When we go back there, we can just roll right away. I don't have a bank though, so there's only one thing to do with it. Chunk Chat was trying to tell me to give the longbone to the stray dog, which is a great idea, and I definitely would do if I had seen that a few seconds earlier. If I get more of them, I know where it's going. Curvebone too if we see it. And there's the steel kite on kill number 5, our first upgrade. Nice. And that's a 1 in 128 drop. So here's the general route as I try out the face-tanking plan on moss giants. I just wanted to get a few kills and maybe some upgrades, so I don't mind this plan right now, but with how few kills we get each trip, I'm thinking I definitely want to get Protect from Melee going to really extend these trips. But I take 1 log from the dead trees in the sewers on the way back from the moss giants, kill enough rats for a full inventory of meat, eating as I go to heal up as well. Then with 1 raw meat in the inventory, I go chop another tree to cook the last meat, and head back to the moss giants where I kill 3 to 5, maybe flinching on the last one to finish the kill, and then repeat. I'm getting some combat XP and prayer XP with both the giants and the rats, so we are making progress. I'm not sure if I'll stack the cosmic rune drops from the giants since I don't have a way to use them here, but I will be hanging on to any nature runes to use for bones to bananas, not for food, but just as a way to generate some more magic XP. There's the magic staff drop, 1 less inventory space, which is quickly becoming a problem, but we now have a magic boosting weapon that allows us to autocast. Now that we have the staff, I decided to do some exploratory hopping for the mind and body rune spawns. I absolutely despise Hopscape, even if it does allow me to rapidly pick up things that are just lying on the ground, so I'll be doing this in smaller spurts as I need to, and you'll randomly see my mind rune stack building. Not much use for the body runes, even against the bosses in this chunk, but I figured it was worth it to stack and bank for later use, so pick those up too. I went upstairs to recharge prayer and wasn't recording, but I got 2 bread drops back to back from imps while I was up there, which is super nice. We have a guaranteed random event about to show up, and I'm hoping it's either a Leo so I can bank stuff, or a food random so I can stack some boss fight food I don't have to cook. Okay, not bad. I would have preferred a sandwich lady with a meat pie, but it could be a really good kebab that heals a lot too. Sucks I'm back to begging random events for halfway decent food. This is a terrible chunk for bad food sources. Time to try out the new staff, both for the thrill of using a new item, and because with this next level we'll be able to cast Fire Strike, and we have 6 fire runes clogging the inventory. No way to get more while we're here, and these bozos are weak to fire. Random fire making level just from burning 2 logs a trip. Wonder how many of these we'll get. And 52 strength as well. Nice little genie lamp here. I think we still need to be putting this on Hunter regardless of where we are. I think Hunter is a good choice for XP lamps just because it opens up some food options to us with baby implings. Hey, nice. Leo random. We can finally bank some stuff. It's maybe 2 trips later. You can kind of tell by my GP since there's nowhere to spend it and I'm only getting it from Moss Giants right now. Not as much to bank as I thought, but we have secured a saw into the bank, so unless I die and lose it in some weird accident, construction training is now viable. I also put the iron axe in there so we have an extra one since we can just go pick it right back up when we get back. Zombie gloves and pants. No clog because we got them before, but I'll wear these gloves and hang on to the pants to hopefully bank these 2 and finally start getting some lamps from Leo. 53 strength, some more air runes, 14 magic, 60 combat. Oh, we just got 49 HP. 15 magic, still no new drops, which is wild because the black square shield is a 1 in 25. There we go, a Myth Spear. Not the preferred mithril weapon since it's two-handed, but it should help speed up the kills on our way to the Myth Sword. Oh, it looks so good. That little bit of blue feels so good to finally have. I didn't know if this account would skyrocket up to rune stuff or what, but I'm kind of glad we're slowly climbing the normal progression of equipment. Remind me I said that when we get to a boss fight. Yeah, this feels a lot better than steel. Man, I'm so happy to have a weapon upgrade. Oh, I nearly forgot to show it, but we've killed 81 Moss Giants so far. So we're over the drop rate on all the upgrades, which are all 1 in 64 with 2 exceptions. The Steel Kite Shield, which we have, at a rate of 1 in 128. And the Black Square Shield, which we do not, at a rate of 1 in 25. So, you know, super cool. Would have loved to just get some normal RNG for once. $108 kills for this 1 in 25 item. Wild. Shame we can't really use it until we get the Myth Sword, though. I killed dozens of rats in the time it takes me to kill 1 Moss Giant, so I'm thinking after we get our last upgrade, we just kill a ton of rats and get 43 prayer for Protect from Melee, while also training our cooking a little bit, too. 21 fire making. Oh, wow. An uncut ruby, so that means that drop hit the rare drop table. That could have been a rune spear or even a dragon spear. That would have been sweet. Oh, alright, we got it. Fully upgraded with the drops from Moss Giants. Only took about 2x the drop rate to get the Mithril Sword, but we still haven't seen a key, so lots more of these guys to kill. And we don't need this trash anymore. Hey, the Drunken Dwarf. Cheers, bud. Good timing. Just killing this for the chunk task, so I guess you guys did end up seeing it. And 55 strength while I'm killing the Scorpion for the chunk task, too. Okay, so slight change of plans. To get to 43 prayer, we need to bury about 800 bones. I don't want to stop to cook meat every dozen kills or so, on top of going to get wood to cook. So we're going to be killing these level 13 zombies to get level 43 prayer. They have about 4x the HP of a giant rat, so it will take a bit more to kill them, but that will be good for training stats, and they also have a 1 in 32 chance at a 13 air rune drop, which would be really good for training magic, something that's going to be a lot harder to consistently train than cooking in this series. So we need to kill about 800 of these guys to get our prayer level, and we'll see how many air runes we get by the end. There's what we're looking for. If we're on rate, we should have about 325 air runes by the end of this. Level 49 attack. I switched up locations to this area with the rune spawns so I could pick those up too. There are level 24 zombies here that also drop 13 air runes at a time at a slightly worse rate, so I thought I'd try them out, see if it's worth the mind runes I can also pick up. Level 42 defense, and level 43 defense, still no air rune drops yet, and 44 defense. I switched back to these level 13 zombies because I was wrong about the other ones dropping 13 air runes. After doing a full defense level there, I got a drop and it was only 3, so that was just a waste of time. 45 defense. I know I'm gonna get hate for training defense, I just feel like it's important because my armor is so trash. Tell me I'm wrong in the comments. They exist! We've been sort of dry on air runes. We're about 300 kills in and only have this many. Drill Demon here. He sees the series. He knows I rock the pants.
Sit up, sit up, sit up, sit up, sit up.
Holy crap, it finally happened. I wasn't expecting to record this. That's a 0.023% chance to happen, and I didn't need to look that up. I just know it because I know weird stuff like that waiting to actually see it happen. Okay, we gotta keep this hat. That is a personal achievement. Shame I had the steel plate body on, but if I took it off, it also looked like steel. 47 defense. A strange plant random. This might actually be crucial for Bryo. We can do most of the kills on a free-to-play world to avoid her poison while still getting all the drops, but we have to do at least one on a members world for the chance at getting the battle staff drop, a members only item. The strange fruit acts as an anti-poison and is our only source of one in this chunk. A damn shame. Some people would kill for that lamp, Ko. Oh no, you out of runes? 49 defense. Ko is still up there not splashing a rat. I wanted a little break from the zombies, so I'm using some of the air runes. A dupe myth sword. This is only 2 kills after the last one. 17, 18, 19, and 20 magic. I just decided to burn all the runes and see where we get with them. Level 21 fishing from Evil Bob. We're back to the zombies. Nothing but this to level 43 prayer, which shouldn't be hard, it's only a few hundred more kills. 52 HP and 50 defense. Don't worry, we're stopping there on defense training. Less than 100 zombies left to 43 prayer. Level 50 attack. We are nearly done, just 5 kills left. I nearly forgot we got this Book of Knowledge, which gets us level 8 Hunter. That's it, level 43 prayer. We now have Protect from Melee unlocked. Oh nice, and that was 500 total level, so we get a nice little clan chat notification. This is really going to help on the Moss Giant trips, not to mention it's an absolute requisite for bossing. We have a handful more runes to use up, and I want to get my inventory as clear as possible because I want to do something stupid. Level 23 magic, and level 24. Okay, that's all the runes. Let's go hopefully not die. So we're here at the entrance to Scurious' lair to attempt a kill. To be clear, I have no expectation that I'll actually pull this off. I just want to see how it is since I've never fought him before on any account. I don't have much experience bossing, as you'll clearly see here in a second. So I asked my friend Poison Swamp, who's been doing some serious bossing over in Varlamore, to swing by and do a play-by-play of my fight. If you haven't checked out Poison Swamp's My Varlamore series, go give it a look. It is a very funny, masterfully edited, and beautifully presented Varlamore locked UIM series that I highly suggest you go watch.
Hello there, I'm Poison Swamp, here to do a play-by-play of Chunk Evil's Scurrious attempt. This ought to be good. This is my first time watching. I'm going in dry. I'm going in blind. Stop! I've already seen a fatal mistake. Rewind! Thank you! Do you see that right there? Chunk Evil has made the fatal mistake of entering the boss room. And would you look at that gear? Is that a steel medium helmet? Ooh, and right off the bat, he takes a 13, followed by a 3. It looks like he's not even trying to prayer flick the boss. This really is knockout stuff. Oh, no, there we go. All right, the flicking has commenced, but he's a little rusty. He's down to 37 hit points already in the... Oh, 28 hit points. I spoke too soon. Chunky told me it's been about a year since he last tried to flick a boss. Oh my god, he takes a 12. This is not looking good. He's been in the fight for about 30 seconds. Scurrious has taken less than 50 points of damage, and already Chunky is down to below half health. Chunky's doing a fairly good job at dodging the falling boulders. Bear in mind that when Scurrious gets to less than 80% health, he's going to start eating from the cheese pile, replenishing that health. Alright, Chunky and the boss are trading zeros. It's a very exciting fight. It looks like Chunky's F keys are broken. He's got some very shaky mouse work going on here, and would you look at that dragon scimitar cursor. God, that's nostalgic. Doesn't that take you back? I remember when I tried to download a dragon dagger cursor and just filled my computer with viruses. My parents were very happy about that, but you know what? I think it was worth it. Look at him eating his cooked meat. Cooked meat! What are you doing? Speaking of worth it, I think Chunky's about to make the right call by leaving. I think you made the right choice there, Chunky. Come back next time when you've got some better gear.
Well, that was futile. I didn't even get him to a healing phase, but that's not all that unexpected with my trash weapon and stats. This was at the very least informative. Seems like the falling bricks aren't all that hard to move around. It's really just going to be getting the prayer flicking more on point and having to set it up so I can eat and flick. I'll need better food, and the best thing I can make here is meat pies painstakingly made from imp flower drops. Some more prayer points would really help out, but those are a lot of bones off, so we can't really rely on that to bridge the gap. Obviously, I need to grind out some mossy keys and see what I can get off Bryophyta before going back to try Scurious. 56 strength. I met another chunker down here in the sewers, aptly named Chunk Rats. We had a good conversation about what both our unusual accounts are doing. He and his GIM teammate apparently need 2 of each drop to be able to roll. Hell of a starting chunk here, Rats. Good luck, man. 53 cooking, 53 HP, 23 fire making. I just had a great idea, but it might be a bit controversial. I think I can get a massive prayer XP drop. You know the stray dog everyone gives bones to? Well, most people don't know, but if you feed him a chocolate bar... Here, boy, I got something for you. You want a treat? Some nice tasty chocolate. God damn it. I was fighting moss giants at like 3 a.m. and drifting off to sleep while playing. I woke back up just in time to see my character die and ended up back here. Alright, I got my stuff back from death. Jesus, so disheartening. No more sleepy deaths. I make that promise now. I won't be doing dangerous content while I'm struggling to keep my eyes open. It's already killed me twice now. I had about 17 days of playtime when I went into the Varrock Palace chunk, and I spent almost exactly 25 hours there. Hopefully it's not a bad wait. See you when Posty P gets back. Two whole days of playtime. That was over 100 random events to get another Posty Pete. Each one a minimum of 1 hour since the last, but as much as 2 hours. People keep telling me not to do this, but if we can just get sent back to Lumbridge once, this will never have to happen again. I don't know if I'll stick to my guns on this. I don't have much more standing around waiting for random events left in me, but I'm just hoping to unlock Lumbridge before it happens again. You know the drill. Time to disappoint Molly real quick, and I'll see you on the other side, hopefully in a new chunk. Oh, I know where we are. If the White Knights didn't give it away, we're in Faldor, baby. Ooh, this is going to be an interesting chunk. We have a bank, we have White Knights, a furnace, a general store, first one of those we've seen, a bar that sells stat-boosting ale, and I don't think we can get to it, but the giant mole is also here. Okay, let's go bank, take a look around, and check out the chunk tasks. Varrock who? Ah, dang, if we had had just 12 more quest points, we'd be able to start the Black Knight's Fortress quest here, but we only have the 1 point from the Clock Tower quest. There's a chicken here, which I believe is our only source of food, if I remember Buzz's Supreme series correctly. We have the bar here, where Emily sells us Wizard's Mind Bombs that boost your magic skill, and Dwarven Stouts that boost your mining and smithing. We definitely need to get a bunch of those, so we have them on deck. And easily the best part of this chunk, the bank. Give me a sec to organize all the random stuff that's been thrown in here since you know. I still haven't even actually looked at the chunk task yet, but as I've said before, I like to get a look around before I know how badly I'm screwed. Bank is reorganized. I've grabbed all these runes because I want to kill a few White Knights to see how magic does against them. Knock that off the chunk task and see what we get as a drop. There's a Faldor shield shop here, which is a slot to sell better shields, but is not stocked for Iron Men, so we can't upgrade our current one. Another tree farming patch, just like in Varrock, and I think we may actually have some banked acorns, so we may have to finally get some legitimate farming XP. We also have Mahogany Homes here that gives you construction contracts, but I have no planks to my name at all, so I'm not going to accept any contracts. We couldn't do them right now anyways, and if I come back here with a better construction level, I may be able to do a higher level contract for a bigger XP reward. Back at the White Knights to kill one for the chunk task. These guys drop iron bars, so we'll probably end up training on them just to stack iron bars if we need to train any combats. Oh, and there it is, an iron bar. Good timing. Iron bars reminded me I also have about 10 bronze bars worth of ore in the bank, so I want to smith those up into bars for later use, but it's not even going to get us a level. And right here is the start to the Knight's Sword quest. I'm very eager to get this one done. All the other parts of the quest are in other evil chunks, and it has a really hefty smithing XP reward, so this one is a high priority to complete. And level 26 magic just because I was a few casts away. Okay, my chunk rush is over. Let's actually see what the tasks here are looking like. On the surface, no pun intended, this chunk doesn't look so bad. We have 5 diary tasks, all extremely easy. Get a haircut, fill a bucket at the water pump, kill a duck in the park, pickpocket a guard, and teleport to Faldor. That last one isn't strictly a task since we don't have a 1 in 16 source for any of the runes to cast that spell, but we already have enough to do it a few times after a handful more levels, so I plan on doing it anyways. There are 2 best in slot tasks. Obtain an iron shield from the shield shop, which we don't need to do because we already have this black square shield. And obtain and wield an adamant mace from the mace shop, which we can just go buy and do since we already have the level. And we need to get the ever-present 58 cooking to cook pita bread because guess who's in this chunk again? That's right, Amps. Thankfully we have the single chicken spawn that again will be very tedious to grind out cooking with one spawn, but it's not as bad as doing it with purely imp flower drops. Not too bad, right? We should get out of this chunk in no time, right? Wrong. Look at this. Look at it. This one item has some monumental implications. We should not have this item. It's from when we were in East Yanil and I was allowing myself into the West Yanil chunk because I hadn't quite solidified the rules for evil chunking yet. Right here in the watchtower is a lit candle spawn, and it was quite literally the only thing I could do anything with in that section of that chunk, which I shouldn't have had access to. At this point in the series, I haven't dropped anything from the chunks I went into illegally, but this is one of those items. So why is it such a big deal? As mentioned earlier in this episode, in this chunk is the giant mole, which you must have a light source to access. Since I have this candle, the giant mole is possible, and it adds all of these tasks to the chunk. I would drop this candle since we shouldn't have it, if it wasn't going to give me advantage to do so. If I don't have to do the giant mole grind, we'll be rolling out of here in a few days at most, expanding the area connected to the mole and possibly making it significantly easier. Tell me what you think I should do, but I think you know which way I'm leaning. It's sort of a moot point until I get 10 more magic levels since the exit to the mole layer actually puts you out in the chunk to the south, so to do it and fully stay within this chunk, I'll need to unlock the Faldor teleport spell at level 37 magic. So for now, I guess let's just get the easy stuff done. Here's Flynn's Mace's shop, there's the Addy Mace, chunk task complete. Wield it really quick and that's another chunk task, though I don't think this is better DPS than the Myth Sword. To get a haircut, I think we can just change the color to something and then back really quick. Ugh, disgusting. Back to the bleached evil look, please. Army restored. Fill a bucket at the pump. Easy game. Now to murder an innocent duck. Sorry, Harry. What level do we need to grow oaks? 15? Yeah, we can do that. But we don't have any acorns. So I'm treating farming as passive, meaning we need to grow whatever we have the level to if there's a 1 in 16 drop rate. Seed nests are our only source of tree seeds at a 1 in 128 rate, so it's not a task, but we may chop for one anyways to get some farming XP. And for the final diary task, we need 40 thieving to pickpocket a guard. But we need another 9 levels from this drunken man. Oops, I attacked him instead. 9 levels from this drunken man who gives the same XP as regular men, so it's going to be a slog. There's level 32, just 2,600 more pickpockets to go. I think I'm going to do magic first. While these runes might be good for a few mole kills at my level, I would get terrible XP from them. It occurs to me that if I get the level for teleport to Faldor, and I die, say, fighting a boss, I can teleport back here instead of waiting for another post-repeat random. I think that's how I'm going to treat it going forward. If I can get back to wherever I died without unlocking more music tracks, then that's what I'll do. So say I die in Edgeville, and I end up back in Lumbridge, I can just use the canoe station there to get back since that puts me out in the Edgeville chunk. Or if I'm in Camelot, and I get sent to Sears and die there somehow, I could tele to Camelot and walk to Sears since that wouldn't unlock a new music track. Let me know what you think. Oh, hold on, I should be drunk for this. There we go, much better. Now our magic is boosted. If I can remember, I should always be drinking these to train magic. They're only 3 GP each. I've been really bad about this so far, but after we got here, whenever we get teleported to a new place or right after any random event, we have a guaranteed hour where I cannot be teleported out by post-repeat. I like to use that time to do inventory heavy activities since if I want to take anything with me, it has to be in my inventory when Pete shows up. So I'm loading my inventory back up with anything I could want in a new random place. Also, we have this clue scroll for the hairdresser I banked back in Yanil. Unfortunately, the White Knights don't drop clues, but the chicken does. So I'm going to try to get a second one or maybe even 3 to guarantee a casket since beginners are a max of 3 steps. I'll just alternate between killing knights and chickens. I'm starting to realize that we're going to be very close, but not quite to level 37. I think we can get to level 35, which is all we actually need, since with a Wizard's Mind Bomb we can boost 2 levels and teleport. So even if we don't end up with the level, we can just carry runes and a Mind Bomb to have a teleport on us to get back if we die. Anyways, I definitely don't have enough Chaos Runes to get there. We gotta low alch some stuff to get the rest of the way there. Okay, level 35, excellent. We can teleport to Faldor now, but I would really like to push to 36 so that we don't end up in a situation where I drink the Wizard's Mind Bomb and immediately lose the boost and miss the ability to teleport with it. With level 36, we'll get a minute of buffer period where we can't lose the boost quickly enough to not be able to teleport with it. That's it for the nature runes. I'm gonna use all the cosmics I can too, and hopefully we can get to 36 with a few more rune drops. Alright, we're real close. I literally cannot cast anything but Telegrab, and I gotta preserve these air runes for the teleports. So let's finally knock off this chunk task. Chunk task complete. First teleport we've ever taken, and a way for us to get back here if we die. You gotta love it. I think I'm gonna grind out the pickpocketing next, since guards are in a lot of chunks, and then move on to the cooking after that. But this episode is getting pretty long. I wanted to give you more than just one chunk this time, but it's a bit too much content for 2 whole chunks. If you've enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button. And if you want to know when the next episode comes out, it really is best to be subscribed since I don't post on a regular schedule. Not to mention it would really help me out. Thank you for watching. I'm Chunk Evil. See you next time.